Cybersecurity Show. So,
Just start over and say it.
okay.
Sorry, my bad. I screwed up. I didn't hit record on time. Carl.
Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Unnamed Cybersecurity Show. If you notice today, it's a little different. We're not in all of our squares. We broke through the squares and we lost one.
Yeah.
There's three of us here.
Well, I think Matt's been kidnapped.
I think so.
Yeah.
He's out of the country. We know that.
He's in a different country. He's been kidnapped. It happens. I made sure that his ransom insurance on his policy was high enough, so he should be good. He should be back next week.
He should be. And if they don't pay, Chris does get the payment anyway. So that's all we
I'm the beneficiary?
You're the beneficiary.
Oh, man, I just learned this. This is awesome.
This is wonderful.
All right. This is the greatest cybersecurity show ever. Thank you for joining us. And by the way,
who doesn't say entertainment isn't tough?
We've had a long week. We've been here.
Where are we now?
Well, we're in Arizona. We're in Phoenix. We're at a cybersecurity event. It actually just wrapped up. You're going to see this on recording. Normally, we try to do this live, but hey, it's going to be recorded this time just because of air flights.
Oh, great. Bob's in the air again.
Yeah.
We may never see Bob again.
Apparently, when you get on the plane and they say you can't have video calls during the plane, that's why we can't record tomorrow. So,
pesky FAA.
Yeah, so we're recording at the end of this. We're a little loopy. There's an open bar about 50 feet that way, maybe. And we just wanted to kind of come on here and give you a little recap of our week and talk about one of the biggest stories that we hope you heard of, but we're not sure if you actually heard of it.
Yeah.
Right? So, you want to?
Well, I think Bob was the one who brought it to us today. Let's give him a little.
Yeah,
been quiet here.
Anyway, watching the news and stuff for the past week, I posted something on Facebook and LinkedIn earlier in the week about a $25 million loss.
$25 million, yeah.
Because it was a deep fake video call, meaning that the finance person thought she was on a Zoom call with the CFO, and it wasn't the CFO, and she transferred money.
But who else was deep faked in that room? The reason that they fell was everybody else was a deep fake. So I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just one deep fake. It was multiple deep fakes.
Yeah, it was a well orchestrated attack.
Yeah.
And you can't, it used to be that you see a video or a picture that, you trust it.
Yeah, it's verifiable.
And we've talked about this before. The thing that scares me the most is for, the election later in the year.
Yes, that's a big one.
But also just for bribery situations. If you're the CEO of a company and somebody wants to spite you and they can take your likeness and they can put it on a video of you maybe doing something illegal or in a compromised position, you can get hit with a ransom. And blackmail is a real thing, and this is something that we're going to see. But the technology with the acceleration of AI and the amount of power we have out there that you can rent to do this, it's crazy how good this can get. And they're not going to say who this company was, right? No. Like this will probably never come out.
It's a Hong Kong bank.
Actually, hold that for a second.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here is using AI to replace people and faces and voices inside of programs. Yep. Now, I actually did some research on some of this deep AI technology, and they're using one AI to create it and another AI to critique it to see that to look for remnants that need to be fixed, and it sends it back to the original AI and say you need to go fix these spots. So
it's still basically putting your face on other people at this point. I mean, there's some other stuff, but you can see there's still missing pieces to it. But conference call though, that's actually genius because you hide their hands and they hide some of the other parts.
A lot of blurring in the background.
Yeah, so you actually make it a little harder to detect. Wild story. I mean, to lose $25 million to a wire is crazy. So what can we do as companies to really protect ourselves against this? And what do you guys think?
Well, it comes back to controls. I mean, this is one of the big things that it's not sexy. It's not like it's not some type of special application you're putting on your systems. It's coming back to having multi-factor controls as far as how money is released. Sure. And you're starting to see banks, you're starting to see other institutions now with wire transfers being more strict on this. Yep. And now we're, that Zoom call or that whatever call you're going to be on that's a video, that's not going to be the definitive way to verify.
And you got to make sure that you're calling people or reaching out to people that you're really getting the person you think you're talking to. Because I talk about it all the time when in my live presentations where I ask people, if they actually have antivirus on a cell phone,
Yeah.
because, if something gets hacked and you think you're calling a bank or and you end up getting somebody else, thank you for calling American Express. How can I help you?
Well, I'm gonna launch out $1 billion idea because I can't execute on it. But I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden when you start to log into Zoom calls, you're not going to also have to verify on a phone or some other two-factor authentication.
Well, like I have two-factor on my Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. But I meant like when you're in the call to the other person to verify that you're actually there.
Let's dive a little deeper into this. So we talked about multi-factor authentication, right? Typically email. Most people are used to it, an email on their bank account, right? Like it could be a text message to you, it could be a code on an app. There's other ways to do it. Obviously, there's hardware tokens. It's funny how we're taking this to a multi-factor authentication to a financial control, right?
Yeah.
Like there needs to be some level of financial controls in the company. But I actually have an interesting idea, and I'm going to steal this, and I can't remember where to steal this from. Have a safe word or a passcode that only you would know that's involved in the situation. So let's say that you have a CFO and a controller, and I don't know, you could have, even if you have a bookkeeping company, there could be a passcode or a password of some sort that you have to use, or they have to provide every time that there's like a change, like a wiring instruction or something like that. So in this case, if the CFO wouldn't have known that, which deepfake AI, the hackers wouldn't have known that, this would have never happened.
It's the same thing we did with my kids when they were young and in school. What was the safe word for somebody else to pick them up?
Well, we can adopt that too to the elderly, right? Exactly. So like, let's say we've had phone calls. Well, I've never had a phone call like this because I don't have kids. But let's say that you're a grandpa or a grandma, and your kids get like your kid calls you, and it's deep fake AI voice. It sounds like your nephew or your grandson or granddaughter or whatever, and they're asking for money. They're begging you to send them money.
Yeah.
Well, if you know that there's a passcode or a passphrase and that person can't provide it, it's probably a setup, or it's probably some sort of crime, and you wouldn't get taken.
I mean, we've had a form of this has been around for a while. I mean, as far as like fake ransoms for the elderly, they're constantly being preyed upon.
Yeah. So we just want to make sure that everybody stays safe out there.
Yeah.
Another thing you want to do is just make people aware. So as you see this stuff, like this should be shared.
Yes.
Honestly, if you're in financial controls, if you do any sort of financial transfers, wire transfers, if you handle bank accounts, if you're doing bookkeeping, like share this information with people. It's important that they see that. And know that there are AI detection systems that are coming and being developed, but it's a race. It's
not there. Yeah.
It's a race between what criminals can do with AI and what the good guys can do with AI. And it's going to be an interesting next couple of years.
Well, here's one of those little fun facts that we could share from our conference. We just all learned that right now we talk about cybercrime, but right now cybercrime worldwide is now bigger than drug crimes. That's
the total loss and like ransom. Yeah.
I mean, we're talking what's being claimed and everything else and the damages.
Yeah.
So it's, and El Chapo and all these other guys make the news, and people were sometimes,
Well, I mean, you think about it, it's devastating from the standpoint of how do you equate the dollar loss, right? Because it's not hard dollar loss. Let's say a $25 million company gets ransomed and they go out of business, right? Well, there's $25 million gone from that of revenue gone from that community.
Yes.
How many employees were affected by that? So when you think about maybe it's a $2 million company, maybe it's a family business that's been around for 50
small
years.
Business, 250,000 employee. That's probably about 100 employees if it's $25 million.
So the real moral that we've got here is make sure on financial controls. Make sure you've got processes in place that you're not just trusting random Zoom calls and really confirm those payments before things happen.
It's funny. I'm doing a risk assessment right now, a cybersecurity risk assessment for a company right now. They do insurance, and I asked them about financial controls. They can't wire money without physically going to the bank. Like one of the officers of the company, and there's only 2 that are listed, have to physically go to the bank for that to happen. So we're gonna get.
No, that's all good.
It's all good.
Although there was a happy hour we should go hit.
Yeah, we should probably go hit the happy hour.
So,
by the way, we just got photo bomb now, video bomb. I guess in this case.
It's all good.
So next week we'll try to have Matt back.
All of our millions of followers will now see this. This guy's going to be a celebrity superstar now.
Anyway.
I'm not a celebrity superstar.
I
Matt
know.
will hopefully be back with us next week.
We're hoping for it.
Yeah, I'm not paying the ransom as insurances, just to be clear. So hopefully,
And
but,
if not, we can always send candy in lieu of flowers.
all right. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want to see more about stuff like this, let us know. We can do case studies about this. We can let you all in. If you have any kind of topic you want to bring up, let us know.
Sounds
But
good.
till next week,
Sounds like a
stay
plan.
cyber safe, guys.
Time to
Yes.
travel, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
See